this new deduction story. This is the first one in a while. Sorry, I haven't really had any good deduction stories to tell you. But I'm excited about this one, and I think most of you will be too, considering how many people have asked me about it since it became a thing. Very recent, within the last 2 weeks, I was hired and paid for my first official private investigation, consulting, and case. About 2 weeks ago, at a little boutique just next door to where I work, and downstairs from where I work, they had a break-in, and that was Thursday night 2 weeks ago, and then Friday, the next day, I became aware of the break-in. They told me about it, and he came in. The owner of the boutique came in, and he was looking around, trying to get access to our security footage and things like that. It was that Saturday they reopened after their break-in, and I talked to him, and when I gave him kind of a rundown of things that I've been able to do, I've solved two other break-ins in the past. I've solved some abuse cases and drug cases in the past. He was ecstatic to have me working on the case for him, because the police, per freaking usual, decided that they had no leads and they couldn't do anything about the case, per usual. So I decided I agreed, I promised I'd take a look at it for him, and that very evening I came back. So, working a case in real life, it's not like private investigators and TV shows and things like that. You don't necessarily always catch the bad guy. You don't always solve the crime. A lot of times for private investigators, we have a mandate. I'm saying we like I'm actually a private investigator. I'm not a private investigator yet. I hope to after vacation this year. I'm going to come home and pour myself into studying to become a private investigator. So it will be official by the end of this year, I hope. If I can save a little money to do that. But besides that, private investigators will often have a mandate. Their job may not be to solve the whole crime. It may be to investigate a single person or something like that. And that was my mandate on this case. They didn't necessarily want me to solve the whole crime. They wanted me to investigate kind of... basically, they wanted me to consult on the case, tell them what I thought, give them some leads that the police claimed didn't exist. And eventually my mandate evolved from there. So the first thing of interest was the break-in was only possible because someone had a key to the building. There's only 5 people. Only 5 keys to the building are known to exist. I say known to exist because it's possible that a key was copied or something like that, but for the most part, only 5 keys exist, which means the people who own those keys are immediately the prime suspects. I could weed out 2 of those people because they were the owners. I didn't see them robbing themselves. Didn't make sense to rob themselves. Besides the owners, there were 2 family members who, while I didn't rule them out as suspects, my mandate was to investigate the cleaning lady. Which sounds cliche, but even according to Sherlock Holmes, usually the simplest solution is the correct one, right? We know that it had to be someone with a key because they used a key to get in, but they also locked the door on their way out. You can't lock the door on the way out without a key. So it wasn't someone picking the lock. It had to have been someone with a key. And it was a very methodically done thing. There wasn't a lot of harm done to the boutique. Nothing was destroyed. Things were picked carefully. The security footage hard drive was taken, which took all the information off of the cameras. There was no information left over to use. The hard drive was taken. So this all pointed to someone who wasn't acting violently, cared about what they were doing. They weren't being malicious necessarily to the owners, specifically to the owners. had a key. But the thing was that they didn't know anything about their cleaning lady, to be totally honest. They hired her on a kind of equal opportunities idea. And they didn't really know where she lived, except they knew the town she lived in. They didn't know who her boyfriend and other contacts was, so that was my main mandate, was to find out more about her. And that evening I had some help tracking down, getting their public records and going through their Facebook, and I was able to find the woman, I was able to find her boyfriend, I was able to find out that they had connections to different towns and different pawn shops. In a matter of days, it was the following Tuesday. So I started the case on Saturday. It was the following Tuesday that I went back to report. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It was 3 days later that I came back with my initial report for them. Gave them the information I had. And I hope they were ecstatic to have me. They continued to have me pursue a few leads for them. But that information on their cleaning lady was the mandated thing that they had me go for the first part. And I gave them a few leads, and I gave them a few suggestions, and warned them about a few other potential suspects, though none of them are anywhere near compelling as their cleaning lady. Let me see what else. I gave them, in my documented report, I have a copy of the report myself, but I gave them like a list of things to batten down on their security. I gave them some suggestions on how to pursue the case themselves. They want me to look over some security footage, so I'm still technically on the case, but I have been paid because I reached my mandate. And I'm still working on the case, little bits here and there, but they, for the most part, are content with the work that I've done. I wanted to share this because it's a big milestone for me. I've solved my first official case. I've solved a few cases, crimes in the past, but this is my first official case where I was hired, and I exceeded the expectations. I did what the police couldn't, or refused to do. And it was exciting for me, and I know a few of my subscribers and a few people on like the Discord server were very interested in hearing the details of this case. I kept names out of it for obvious reasons, a few other things out of it for obvious reasons. But I wanted to thank everyone for following me on this journey. A few years ago, I didn't think that this was ever going to come, a point where I was going to be able to actually solve cases and post about it on YouTube. And so thank you all for following me on this journey. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.